And how's everybody? Good.
Fine does not have to ikuwe na pesa, si ndio?
No, fine is peace of mind.
Fine is relative.
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
Eh.
Yes.
How much money
and the
dictates
greatest,
peace of mind?
No. Why do you put money first? Kwanza munaweka Mungu kwanza. God first. Spirituality first.
And
that is where you get your
3.
peace of mind. Because one of the 2 things that God teaches you is that you must never worry and you must never fear.
You must never
you
worry.
Give those problems to God.
Okay.
Yes. Ukiwa na hiyo, the rest comes.
Okay. So God first. Money comes number 2. There is another order how things go. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
I was so looking forward to this conversation again.
Asante sana.
Kierere yangu is sending me to something you mentioned in passing in your loads and loads of wisdom that you throw kwa conversation. Yeah, Japan.
Yes.
Japan don't have children.
Yes.
Like they have old people.
Yes.
And?
Yes.
Is it young people?
Yes. They don't have young people. They have middle age to old people. They have very few children. So what has happened, of course, is that you don't have a labor force. They have a manual, in other words, manual labor, manual technical labor, shortage of about 600,000 people. Okay. And if they progress like that, they are going to become what is called a failed state because it's increasing year on year. Right?
Okay.
2 things. You don't have workers and you don't have consumers. You see, these young people here are consumers. Africa, even take Kenya, for example.
Yes.
80% of our population is below the age of 40. Those are your main workers, producers, and consumers. That is your soko. When you have an old population, what soko is there?
Okay.
What soko is there? Kuna soko, their needs are very few. So Japan is slowly becoming what you call a failed state.
Okay.
Right? And they need labor. They need the continent of Africa's young population in that country.
Okay.
And some of us are clearly of this belief. If they want us, they should come here and invest in this country.
Okay.
Put their products in this country. The labor force iko hapa. It's not our labor to go there. Ama ni namna gani? This is a much better country. Hapa kuna earthquakes. Huku kuna earthquakes.
Na si sasa
huku kuna sijui typhoons and sijui hurricanes. Here we have very good land, very good weather. There they have terrible weather, by the way. Here you have very good weather, you have very good people. If you want us to grow your economies out there, bring your products, your companies, your investments, what you call foreign direct investment into this country, not us to go out.
Okay.
Why are we going out? Europe is going to face the same problem.
Yes.
Yeah? You have families that decided many years ago, I think mainly from Generation X, and then it went to millennials, that decided having a pet is better than having a child.
Okay.
A dog became more important than having a human being in your life because couples wanted to spend more time together.
Yes.
And children were seen as a burden. So you have now people like countries like Germany that are paying families to get a child. Yes, they are paying you. And they're telling you these are the free things you will get.
Only Germans ama hata sisi?
No, even Nordic countries. Not hapana sisi. Sasa sisi tunatokea wapi? Wewe ni Mjerumani wewe. Wewe ni Mjerumani.
If people are getting paid to make babies.
No, but that is their own citizens. Those are their own citizens. Okay. Their own citizens. That they have such a big problem with labor and market that they are looking, they are not too happy with too much migration.
Yes.
Right? So they want immigration. They want their own population to increase birth rates. So they are paying you to have a child. They are paying you. They are making sure you have free education all the way to university. You have free health care of that child so that you bring a child and you do not see it as a financial constraint. The Nordic countries started that long time ago. Now, I want you to know something, Daktari, and it's important Kenyans know this, that in the 70s and 80s, when Kenya used to get donor aid from World Bank and IMF, one of the conditions was family planning, that we commit ourselves to a 2-home family.
2 children?
Yes, 2 children. Why? Why? Them they suffered, mpaka now they have reducing population.
Yes, yes, yes.
Why did they want few of us? Why? It's because, as you can see today, power is numbers. Power is numbers. It is production, it is market. China and India are very clear pictures of that. Their numbers have created their own markets amongst themselves, and they've been able to expand to the world. Africa, that is the greatest fear ya mzungu, kwa sababu their growth has been based on us being down. When we come up, they see their growth as coming down. We are the soko, we are the producers. So I want to advise most of my fellow Kenyans, musitafute huku kwingine, don't think of going out. They are coming here. And they must come here on your terms, not their terms. They come here on our terms, not their terms. The future is Africa. Usidanganywe. And the future is now. It's not tomorrow. It is now.
Interesting that you say Japan has terrible weather and they have an aging population. And here I thought terrible weather is the most ideal for making babies. But then...
You know, the cold weather is not terrible weather.
Because
we have June, July, August, ni baridi. That's very good. It's very good for us.
Oh, sir.
We cool off.
Thank
then
you
they have horrible weather, ndugu yangu.
Okay.
Most of the year is not what you would enjoy.
And does it mean it's a choice to choose either one or the other? Prosperity as a nation or make as many children as possible? Because here we have as many children as we can, but we don't have as much resources as they do.
Who told you we don't? What resources does Japan have that we don't have?
In terms of prosperity, most people would consider Japan more prosperous than Kenya.
Their greatest resource has been human resource, which has been the most creative, right? So
Yes.
they've been innovative. Electronics, science, all of these came from people. We have got the capacity here. Who told you we don't have?
So that's why you say people
Our
should not
greatest
be
resource
afraid.
here is human resource for productivity. We can also create. But isitoshe, we have a lot more. We have so much on our land here. Do you think the scramble for Africa was because we had nothing here? We have so much on this land. They came here to plant our cash crop, right? Called coffee, called tea. Isn't that so? Horticulture.
Yes, yes.
They are the ones who are still consuming. The saddest thing is that we are not getting the benefit as a farmer. Kuna watu wengine hapa katikati ambao wanakula yote. Yes. One of the biggest importers of macadamia nuts is Japan, for example. Macadamia nut here, a kilo to a farmer today is going for 40 shillings maximum. 40 shillings.
Okay.
That kilo in Japan is 3,000 shillings.
3,000.
3,000 shillings.
And what's the net profit of the person selling it for 3,000
Now, so who
shillings?
is in between? Look at our coffee. Coffee is the second most traded commodity in the world after oil.
But we're replacing coffee farms with buildings.
This is the saddest thing. Coffee is $460 billion industry. Mmeshika hiyo namba? Ama hiyo ime 460.
Yes.
The farmer, okay, na ushike hii vizuri sana.
Yes.
In the world farmer of coffee, from Brazil to Chile to Africa, the farmer does not get more than $24 billion of that 426. The farmer. Africa gets $2.4 billion. But the industry is $460 billion. What has happened? Today, a coffee farmer, whether in Makueni or in Nyeri, is getting a kilo at maybe 50 to 70 shillings. All right?
Yes.
If you are a plantation farmer and so on, some are maybe making 100, 120 shillings a kilo. Now, just to give you the sums, 1 acre of coffee should have about 500 trees. Umeshika hiyo daktari. Now upige hiyo hesabu vizuri.
Yes.
I hope you said you had a mathematician
Mike,
here.
yes,
Wapi huyo
400.
kijana? Anaitwa Mike.
Yes.
Aya. 500 trees.
Yes.
Each tree per acre. Each tree should produce at least 3 kilos. How many kilos are those?
1,500.
1,500 higher.
Yes.
The farmer is getting 50 shillings, say 70 shillings. So 1,500 times 70 is how much?
45,000.
45,000.
15 shillings times?
No, 1,500, you said kilos, isn't
yes,
it?
times 50 shillings.
Times 70 shillings.
Times 70
Let's
shillings.
give him the maximum. Oh, 5,000.
I'm Pentium 1. guys. I'm Pentium 1.
Okay, now that is on 70 shillings.
Yes.
Now, the people who have been marketing our coffee, and there's been a small cartel here, are able to sell that coffee for 2,000 shillings a kilo.
2,000.
2,000. All right. Now, you imagine if the farmer was getting 2,000, because I can tell you in the open market, it is going for $50. $50 is about 6,000 shillings a kilo. So you imagine if the farmer was getting 2,000 shillings. Take that 1,500 times 2,000 shillings in pesa ngapi? From 105,000 per acre to 3 million shillings an acre. That is per year.
Yes.
You tell me here, who would not be a farmer here? And coffee grows everywhere. Who would not be a farmer here? Do you see the difference? But how come that knowledge is not disseminated? How come people don't know this knowledge? Who would not be a coffee farmer? And I can tell you everything you produce is taken. It's the second most traded commodity.
Is this because
so
farmers
demand
don't know?
outstrips supply.
Is this because farmers don't know?
Yes. There's not enough knowledge in the market. And it has been so complicated by legislature over the years. It has benefited few who understand it. And that's the key thing about biashara. You need to understand what you're getting into. And you need to have a wholesome picture. It's the principles of economics.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So if you don't understand or have knowledge of your market, you should not enter it. Now, I've given knowledge. How many people will go and start tendering to a coffee estate? 1 acre. I'm talking about 1 acre.
How accessible is the open market for someone who can access a farm and plant the coffee?
How many people here do not have somewhere in the home that is called a village? Very few.
Okay.
Correct?
Yes.
Very few.
Yes.
And you find that there are very few people who cannot have access to an acre, even if it's to take your neighbor, so on, and say, let us do this together. All right?
Yes.
It is not hard to get money to plant coffee. Right?
Yes.
It has a lifespan to come up. But when it comes up, that is your return per year. Today, as we go on in the years, it will be even a higher price. And you're earning in foreign exchange, so you're not down to the fluctuations of the Kenya shilling. So ndugu yangu, we have got a wealth in this country that is unmatched. Our land, our people first and foremost, right?
Yes.
The resources we have, our weather, our geographical position. Okay?
Okay.
There is a wealth here you cannot believe. And then we have a huge market. I tell people we are too busy looking for mzungu market. Sijui, I don't know what market huku nje. Sub-Saharan Africa, people who have the same color as us, are 1 billion. Mnajua hivyo? You know what Sub-Sahara is? Yani from the Sahara downwards, watch North Africa. From the Sahara downwards, okay, to South Africa, you have 1 billion people. Hiyo ni soko kubwa sana.
Okay.
China is 1.5, 1.4. India is now going towards 1.5. Numbers, ndio soko. And you have in that 1 billion the same sort of demographics, where 80% are below the age of 40. You guys have got such a bright future. I don't even know why you are negative. The future is so bright. As I heard Malema say the other day, he needs sunglasses. It's too bright. Okay?
Yes.
You need sunglasses.
Yes.
And
yes.
that is the future for young people. But nobody is telling them the story. Nobody is showing them this hope and opportunity. And that's why I'm glad you brought me Daktari, because this is something we want to keep preaching. Do not be in despair. Do not feel that there is a government or a country that has minimized the opportunities. Whatever it is they are minimizing today, it will be open tomorrow. By yourselves.
Okay. You introduced something very interesting in a previous conversation about, let's say, for example, someone, the coffee idea is good, right? There are people who farmed coffee for X period of time. But then in your book of business tips, you shouldn't stay in a certain business for too long. So how do you know it's time to exit and move to something else? Because if I got you correctly, there's nothing like staying in a place for more than 5 years.
No, I didn't say 5 years. But
The
it depends,
lifespan.
and it depends on the business.
Okay.
Depends on the business.
Yes.
When you are in coffee, what happens is that you have an insatiable market, for example. You have a market that will always take whatever you produce.
Yes.
That is a different market. That one, no matter what produce, they will take it. They're never going to find a synthetic coffee, right? They want original organic coffee that is grown from the soil. And ours is very special because we pick our red berries, right? We don't just go with a machine and sweep everything. So we have a very special crop, right? So in coffee, you'll always have endless supply. There are other things that other businesses that maybe demand that the more knowledge you get, the more you're understanding that you also others are getting the same knowledge of your business. If you open a shop where you're selling clothes or a little kiosk where you're selling clothes and people find you have good quality and let us say you're importing it from Thailand at a very cheap price and selling it with a good margin and it's very popular because it's good quality.
Yes.
You're advertising to daktari
Yes.
that hapo kuna pesa. Hata wewe ukipata tikiti ya Thailand, utaenda ulete hizo vitu ama a contact and you'll compete. So now when you realize that, you must up your game. You can't stay there because competition will come in. It's easy entry. When you have easy entry into a market, you need to upscale if you are first one there. So you need to go up, which means maybe now if you make money, you either decide I want to go for a niche market of quality, so I bring in a different brand, or I start making my own.
So to paraphrase what you've said, your success in a certain line of business depends on how long you can shut your beak.
Yes. How long and when you recognize your peak. Because the more you're at it, the more you're also educating others. That's what I was trying to say earlier. You know, money is silent. You don't advertise how you're making money. Otherwise, everybody comes in to do what you're doing. Okay. Right? You're quiet, but people see it. If there's easy entry, people see it. And if you're selling doma here, and you are getting it from a particular farm and you end up selling the cheapest, people find out where you're getting it from. Correct?
Yes.
And they'll end up going there. So you need to upscale. You either look for another market, not the same soko.
Yes.
Right? Or, right, you increase your quantities because you made more money. Right? So you increase your quantities and sell at a cheaper and cheaper rate so that people can enter. But eventually, you should be the one planting your own doma.
Okay.
Right? So that you're reducing the cost even further. And then maybe you start processing that doma later. Right? Like macadamia.
Yes.
Macadamia, I'm telling you, it grows nearly anywhere. That is not even like coffee. Okay. You can literally grow macadamia nuts anywhere. But there is a different pricing for a macadamia that is processed. In other words, where you remove the husk and bag it, to one that is raw. Okay. Now, when you make enough money out of raw, you should process. It doesn't even cost that much money. I don't know why our farmers are not doing it. And the advantage of when you process, right, is a small plant. The advantage of when you process is that you can then store your macadamia for 3 years and wait for market prices. If they get better, you put at a higher price.
So the other secret is always knowing the next level of the business you are in.
Yes, and now with technology, what can't you find out?
Okay.
What can't you find out? With your phone, you have access to information.
Okay.
So the young people of today, ni wanalala tu.
Access to capital. Wengine hawalali. Access to capital. This is the biggest challenge. Ami silali. Hata kidogo. Access to capital. Please, you said you started your business your own way, and you are too proud to ask your father for money, right? I
was fortunate enough to have a father to ask for money, but I was proud enough not to do it.
So you didn't hata kidogo?
Yes, I didn't.
Okay, so what are the options that people have to access capital? Because last time we discussed banks and why it's not the best option to start your business in most cases.
You see, I talked to you also last time about what is called venture capital.
Yes.
If the government can get out of our business, if the government can get away from borrowing locally, I saw the president saying that he wants to create a model where he's borrowing locally, only for development. We don't want them with our money.
Okay.
Do you want to give, aren't you tired of giving the government our money? Ama you are very happy paying taxes, giving the government money, alafu unaona wamekuwa watu wakubwa enjoying big cars. Is that what you want? No. We want them to get away from our money. Get away. Stop borrowing our domestic savings. All right?
Yes.
Forget about it. Forget about our taxation.
Yes.
All right? Get away from us. Ourselves will find venture capital. Today, the government has borrowed from our savings. See, they have a total debt of 10 trillion. 5 trillion is from our banks here. 5. That's our money.
Yes.
Daktari.
Yes.
You imagine if that money was working for us. Do you think there will be anybody here who's not doing biashara?
Now that option is out of the table.
No, who told you? We are going to make sure it is available for everybody. Because they
It's the
must.
best option.
It is the best option. That money must find growth. And it will find growth in each and every one of us.
Okay.
Because they will listen to your idea and somebody will say, I'm prepared to risk.
Okay.
Instead of my money sitting in the bank earning 1% interest rate, I'm prepared to risk with you. Right?
Yes.
To do one or two things. And you'll find businesses here sprouting. Sprouting. And I want to advise young people, please forget about looking for employment and jobs. I heard, I think it was the DP who was being criticized for saying there are no jobs.
Yes.
I think you should take that as a blessing, as a silver lining.
Yes.
Self-employment is the best vehicle. Salaries, they say,
Yes.
and I'll paraphrase somebody who said it to me recently. Salaries are the drug that an employee gives you to take away your dreams. To take away your dreams. I know, Kengori, you're employed, but I'm trying to tell you. If you want to actualize your dreams,
Yes.
you must eventually go towards self-employment. And Kenyans are very innovative. Very innovative.
Okay.
What we need to do is make sure that they have access to that money and they don't need government money. They don't need a hustler fund.
Okay.
Right? The government just needs to leave our money alone. And that money will come back to us. Ndio? Watu wachie pesa zetu. We will find gainful employment for it. We are the business people, not a government. And this is where we are talking about our political and economic philosophy. It must change. For 60 years in this country, we've had government-led economy, where the government is the one that creates employment. The government is the one that is the one that does growth. That model has not worked. You saw recently, in fact, it was your paper that covered how many people are unemployed.
Yes.
So it has not grown. And then today, you're seeing how many people are being employed in KRA. That KRA employment of 1,000 people should be a new industry Kengori is beginning. Unaona?
Yeah.
Ati wewe umeleta kitu when you employ 1,000 people. Not serikali. And you can employ your cousins or whoever you want. Not serikali.
Okay.
We are the best drivers for growth. We understand biashara.
Okay.
Government does not know biashara. It doesn't.
Yes, it doesn't. But then you have a very interesting definition of financial freedom, right? Please give us a view of what your perspective is of what financial freedom is when you tasted it, when you went the independent path, when you tasted it, and what gave you the map of where you are going before we talk about the circulation of money. Because that's one of the things we promised people.
My personal journey.
Yes, yes, yes. Like financial freedom, first of all, general definition, because you also have this thing, which is, by the way, a very big debate. Yeah, there's an illusion of wealth. People who think they have money, but they don't, right? And I think you've actually touched on it by saying employment. If you're employed, hauna kitu. You're just surviving.
You're just surviving. Am I wrong or right? You're
That's
employed. You're
That's
employed. The last time I was employed was many years ago, before I started biashara. And this was in Canada when I was working for Butter Shoes. I was selling shoes. And I can tell you, to me, it was like slavery. It was like slavery. So, financial freedom is the following. You know, a human being is based on needs, wants, and dreams. Needs,
Wants and dreams.
wants, and dreams.
Yes.
Am I wrong? Needs, wants, and dreams. If you overcome your needs and are saturated with your wants, in other words, you generally can get what you want, then you now live your dreams. When you start living your dreams is when you have attained your financial freedom. That's why you saw some people the other day, very rich people, they decide they're going to experiment in a small submarine to go and see the Titanic. Were those not billionaires?
They were.
They were living a dream, taking a risk. Okay, they are living their dreams.
I thought you
and
said
the risk.
They were my colleagues.
You know? and you can see when they were living their dreams, they knew they were taking a risk.
Yes, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Whether it was the adrenaline rush, whether it was what, they went and they died. But they were living a dream. They may not have wanted to die, but you know, life is like that. When you die living your dreams, you know, I mean,
Interesting.
Mzuri sana.
Hata ni poa
Isn't it?
ni poa
Yeah,
sana
not
you
that you're
brought,
struggling for your wants or needs.
ni poa sana you brought that up because you're playing on that level. What are the things that money tempts you to do?
No, I'll tell you what happens. For me, my dreams are the following. Is how do I want to be remembered on this good earth of ours, especially in this good country. Yes. You see, I told you last time that dreams also become philanthropy.
Okay.
There are those who decide, I'm going to live my dreams. I made so much money, I want to produce the cure for malaria or the cure for AIDS or the cure for something.
Yes.
And they invest a lot of money. I want to try and eradicate poverty. Right? You're seeing what Bill Gates and others are doing. This is now where you're living your dreams for philanthropy.
Interesting. So, in your relationship with money.
There is a man called Deng.
Yes.
China, as I told you, had two revolutions.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This great country called China. And I
Yes.
call it great because they have been very focused. They had first and foremost the Cultural Revolution, which was Mao Zedong,
Yes.
where he made everybody understand that they are important people. Because before that, they had dynasties that had made everybody a worker, apart from the people who had blue blood, kingdom blood.
Yes.
Right? You are
Yes.
born to be a kingdom or you are a slave.
Yes.
Now, he came in and made sure the China man and woman were made to feel like human beings, no longer slaves. Right? So they had equal opportunity.
Yes.
Then you had what were called the economic revolution after the Cultural Revolution,
Okay.
which was a man called Deng. Now Deng came and said, now that you have attained self-worth, you know you have value, let us now make you great with money economically. He found a country that had 80% poverty rate. By the time he died, he had reduced it to 3%. All right?
Yes.
Today, I think China is probably the country with the least poverty rate. I think it's under 1%. Okay? Now, those are models we should look at. So it starts. What is a Kenyan? Kingori, who are you? Because I see you're wearing a three-piece suit. Are you a British aristocrat? Are you a British king? Right? Because our clothing, even we took away our clothing that we used to wear traditionally.
Yes. Yes.
The Mzungu came here, took our clothing, took our names. I'm glad you call yourself Dr. Kingori. Most people have got a name like mine, Jimmy, Sijui Nani,
Yes.
Sijui Nani, Elizabeth, correct? We took Mzungu names. He came, he took our religion. Many of us had religion here, right? He branded us in terms of his tribe. Even the food we eat, do we eat our food anymore? Hardly. We eat his food, right? For the young people here, they will tell you they like hamburgers. Hamburgers, nani, our forefathers used to eat hamburger. Okay?
They
The one thing I love is we still have our tradition like nyama choma and all these things. Very important. Now, he took away our identity to make him him. Right? So somewhere along the way, we must define what our identity is. And the Kenyan is defined. We like school. We like to work hard. We like each other. We like partying. So tunapenda pombe kidogo na kujienjoy.
Yes.
We are clubbable people. There are many people who come to Kenya and they say, Kenyans are always smiling even in bad times. Kwani, what is it? I tell them it's the sun. We are very happy people here. Okay? So we are a particular brand of people. Now, we must box ourselves and protect each other and say that our product must be sold no matter what. Right? But we must define ourselves. When we define ourselves, then we can look for our greatness.
Okay.
The Jews were also very good at it. The Jews have something called fargin.
Farging.
Right? Fargin.
Farging.
Fargin. F-A-R-G-I-N.
Yeah, sawa.
Umeshika?
Yeah, nimeshika.
Now, the Jews have something called fargin.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So what they say is that first and foremost, all biashara comes to us alone first. Right? And if you are making something
Yes.
that is inferior to what somebody else is making, we shall tell you what the other is making so that you make to his quality so that we keep coming back to you. But we support you, and even when you're below the standard of somebody else,
Yes.
until you get up there.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right?
Yes.
We ourselves should be the same. First and foremost, we must tell each other when we are proud of who we are,
Yes.
that when we see each other, we must grow each other.
Okay.
When we see a Kenyan product sold by Dr. Kingori,
Yes.
it is more superior than one coming from London.
Okay.
Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, because it's ours.
Okay.
And if it hasn't reached there, it is going to get there.
Okay.
So,
digress kidogo pale
no,
kwa
no, I'm
financial
coming to
freedom.
it.
Yes.
So I'm coming to the legacy of Deng. So my dream is this, that if, God willing, given a chance, that my policies, my ideas, and those of teams around me are able to make sure there is nothing called a poor Kenyan in our lifetime.
Yes.
In our
Lifetime.
lifetime, it shall be remembered as the beginning of our greatness, right?
Okay.
For the next 400 years.
Okay.
Are we together? That is now a dream. And if one is going to die trying to achieve that dream, Mimi, I'm very much at peace with that.
Now, when you go back kidogo, it comes at a certain point, right? Because at first you had a job. You say, by the way, that's the
job?
first time I've had in Canada.
Yeah, in Canada, I had a job selling shoes.
Yes, yes, yes. You had
And
a
I
job.
was a very good salesman. By the
You
way.
quit ama walikufuta?
No, it was vacation jobs. But, kufuta, no. It was vacation jobs.
Yes.
And I was a very good salesman. I was a top salesman.
Okay.
Yes.
So at that point, you're looking for, let's say, is it really survival? Like to get money to?
No, it was really just pocket money.
Just
It was fun.
Okay, sawa sawa. Then you get to a certain level, ukona probably investment and stuff, and then you get to your level, philanthropy and dreams. In my simple-mindedness, do you bargain kwanza? Do you bargain?
Bargain forward.
For anything. As in, kwa vocabulary yako kuna vitu kama hapo umenifinya sana. As in, does the relationship with money change or the value of money is the same? Let's say, for example, the pain you would feel spending 1,000 bob at a certain level is the same pain that you would feel spending 1,000 shillings now.
You see what happens is that there's nobody, especially if you're in business,
Yes.
that does not try to stretch their shilling. Nobody. If anybody tells you that it's just value does not matter,
Yes, yes, yes.
then they have not understood their numbers. You try and stretch your shilling no matter what. But there's nothing greater than being fair. If along the way, people
Yes.
feel they've also made money with you,
Yes.
they're the same ones who will come with better and better opportunities and bargains tomorrow. So I will not stretch you and bargain until you feel, doing business with Jimmy ni hasara. Chana na hii mtu. Correct?
Yes, yes,
I want you to feel, I feel good nikifanya kitu
Yes.
na Jimmy.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Uh-huh.
I want to feel I feel good
Yes.
getting something from you,
Yes.
doing something with you.
Okay.
Because we all make money.
Yes.
The greatest thing is that you all make money together. There's no other better union. Don't bring people to a table and they cost are making money.
And is this thing, does this thing go step by step? Because we've had this conversation of there's a certain age where you can actually say you have money. We had someone put it at 52. Anyone below 52 anakwambia akona pesa, they are lying.
I don't quite agree with that because I don't know where age comes into this. Age and maturity are two different things.
Okay.
Two different things. There are people who make it even by 35, 38, 40. So age and maturity, the key thing is maturity. Yes,
practicality of a millionaire
practicalities.
at 26,
Yeah. Not 26. It's possible.
But
if they've been
very hard.
extremely, it depends on one's character. If you've been extremely disciplined and you matured at a very young age and were able to be very clear about the course you want to take, the direction you want to take in life,
Yes.
you can achieve it at a young age. Oh, yes, you can. But you must work on yourself. It's not impossible. No. You must work on yourself. Because when you work on yourself, you're able to do very many things. I'll give you an example.
Yes.
At the age of 25, I quit drinking. Right? I refused to take pombe anymore.
Something
because
happened.
Now I said, no, nothing happened.
There's always a testimony behind it, but
no, nothing happened. I just wanted to change my lifestyle. I was tired that every weekend, every sijui what, tuko hapa Sagre, tunakula nyama, tunakunywa, sijui one club after the other. In fact, even in this building, there was another club I used to come to here called Lux.
Uko na walevi hapa
hapa, this building. I'm on the next one, I can't remember.
Yes.
Now, I can tell you, at 25, that meant that the friends I had at 25, my age mates, now started dissipating because I was no longer the fun person when you joined them.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you start looking for a different conversation, people who are at a different level. At 25, the people I was associating with were beyond 40. Yes. And the greatest thing with that is that I learned lessons very fast. Because you sit around, you asked me about mentorship.
Yes.
You sit around and hear and absorb things from people who've had experience. So you get vital life lessons. By the time I was 30, generally in comparison to my age mates,
yes,
I was doing very well.
Okay.
Very well. I had a life that was focused and disciplined. I was trying to actuate a direction. Okay?
Okay.
So it depends on one's personality. You can achieve it below the age of 52. But you must work on self.
There's nothing
Self.
like you are born like that.
No. There's luck. In everything, there's also luck. Right? But luck is an extension of ability. You must put in the effort and luck comes. You must be present somewhere in the marketplace and luck comes.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Now, and many people also say those are blessings of God. Right?
Yes.
The extra that you didn't see.
Yes.
That is God. Luck, whatever you want to call it, energy.
Okay.
But you must be present in the marketplace. You can't be sitting at home sleeping the whole day or sitting in a bar all day and then you think now opportunity will come. It won't come. Or the little money you get, instead of going to have a drink with people who are educating you, you're going to just go and dance and waste your time and get drunk.
Okay.
Go and spend time where you learn even one vital lesson from somebody. It will open your mind to so much. And Kenyans are very quick. The one thing we were born with, we were blessed with good kichwas here in this country.
Rule number 1, get drunk with smart people. So mentorship also played a very big role.
Oh yes. Apart from mentorship is also just understanding what goes on in the world,
Yes.
through other people's eyes. Right? It opens you up phenomenally. Because what you think is a straight line, you realize is not necessarily that straight. And there are a lot of gaps and opportunities that you can seize.
And as a young man, as a 25-year-old, and even for the people watching, how do you, what's the frame of mind you need to create for yourself to be able to hang out with someone almost twice your age and they will, to benefit from that engagement?
You've got to be a good listener. You've got to, in your own self, be somebody that people feel you actually are seeking growth. Because if they genuinely feel it, they'll keep you around. They'll keep you around. Okay, Daktari, for example, we have a distance of age. But if you kept telling me I want to come and have an hour or two with you privately, why would I refuse? See, you're progressing in your life.
Yes.
Why can't I share 1 or 2 vital lessons for you? Or let's go and have lunch. Why wouldn't I? Right? Very much the same. That if you show diligence to want to know something, to
Yes.
learn something,
Yes.
right? Your eyes can be opened by even a stranger, but hang around them. They will open your eyes beyond your imagination.
That's one way into the door. Number two, something about how you've been in areas in the top tables where policies are made,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
The circulation of money.
Yes.
And I believe I have a question from one of our audience members who actually was waiting for you to come back on the show. Anaitwa at Adrian Terry. Anasema, I saw or heard Jimmy Wanjigi will return to the show to discuss circulation of money. Ask him at minimum to highlight the life cycle of currency, injection, circulation, redemption, or taxes.
Now, I think I summed it up in a simple way
Yes.
earlier. When I said you have a government that is taking our savings from our banks,
Yes.
right? And taking the taxes from our pockets. So who has the greater circulation of money?
Okay.
The government,
Yes, yes, yes.
right? So when it does, it decides how to spend it. Now, what is, in your view, the concern that collects the most money in this country?
Recurrent expenditure.
No,
and
no,
debt.
no,
debt,
no,
debt,
no.
Sorry, debt.
No, no, no. That collects the most money.
KRA, sorry.
KRA,
Yes,
correct.
yes,
So KRA last year collected almost 2 trillion, 1.9 trillion. There is no entity. At Kenya Breweries does not collect that. They take from Kenya Breweries, they take from everybody, isn't it?
Yes.
So they collect 1.9. Out of 1.9, 70% of it is going to debt.
Yes.
That is circulation of money. Who is this debt? Who is this debt? That's 1.4 trillion
Yes.
is going to debt.
Yes.
Who is this debt? When you look at the debt, it is called 10 trillion. 50% of that debt
Yes.
ni pesa yetu from our savings,
Yes, yes.
right, in the bank. Okay. You know, some people think they put M-Pesa, you think it's not savings. At M-Pesa, Safaricom is putting it in a bank, right? And in a sense, they are giving government.
Yes, yes, yes.
Higher.
Yes.
Then the government comes and takes taxes from us to pay the same debt. So who is the biggest circulator of our money? Serikali.
Yes.
And 70% of it ni deni. So it's not coming back to us.
Okay.
It is taking from us. Okay?
Yes.
Now, with the rest that they've got, you've got salaries, okay? You have operations of government, they have little money for development. So they do not spur growth. What circulation do you have?
None.
We are in what you call, especially in this country today, what is called stagflation. We have stagnated and we have recession, right?
Yes.
We have recession, sorry, and we have inflation. That's stagflation.
Yes.
So we are going down, right? And we have high costs. See, we have high costs.
Yes, yes, yes.
Is the cost of living high? Is it high or not? Is it increasing by the day?
Yes.
Higher. So we have that and we are going down. It's the worst situation to be in. Because it's very hard to find a formula. That's why you're seeing this government struggling. And they will not get it. They will not get it. So they will not. I'm telling you, they will
Unless
not
the
get it. I'm
formula
sorry
changes.
to say.
Unless
No,
the formula changes, if you
they-
don't have
let-
money
let
now,
me
you
t-
don't have money.
Let me tell you, they will not get it. They have not gotten it. They've had a year to show us whether they've gotten it. They haven't gotten it. So now we are going through, in my view, a waste of time. Now they are wasting our time. And you know, these people are not getting younger. Are you getting younger? Right. Hate anybody who is wasting your time. Because time does not come back. All right? So when they are denying you opportunity,
Yes.
time does not come back. So the circulation of money is this. I have explained. The bigger circulation is going to debt. And there's no formula out of that that has come from this government. It's a hole, what you call a black hole, right?
Yeah.
Of never-ending pain. And if we don't get that right, it doesn't matter whether you increase taxes by another 100%.
It will not work.
It will not work. Whether you squeeze us on into complete slavery, it will not work. That's why you see us crying and crying and crying about this subject.
Okay. And there are things in your experience that keep people poor, right? Already you've said that being employed sort of is you trading your dreams for a small token of appreciation. There's also this conversation of what really wealth means. Whether you should, people, things that keep people poor, watu wanasemanga, first of all, buying a car. Nowadays, the conversation has changed to buying a house. In your experience and your vast experience in business, what's the sure bet way to stay poor?
To stay I will tell you, flossing here, vijana. That one, I can assure you, if you think you are going to live on the basis of your image to other people, that is the worst. Because that's when you get into those buying cars, buying all those things that consume your money. A car, you take it out of the showroom, it depreciates in value. It depreciates in value. The minute you drive it out, even if you try and sell it there, you get less than you had paid for the showroom.
Yes.
Those are consumers. Even a house that you stay in consumes. The only appreciation you have is that if you bought well, then the value of land will appreciate. So when you sell later, there's value. And there's also the sense of security. If you own your own house, it's better than if you're renting. But anything that is consuming, that is not adding, you're in trouble. Like now government
formula.
Its money is going to debt. That's a sure way of bankruptcy. You're imeisha. That's how it comes. Yes. If 70% of your income is going towards debt, umeisha. Umeisha. So you don't take too much debt either, because that will finish you. Okay. So live within your means. But I don't want you to forget something. One must get over their needs, must achieve their wants.
So that they can,
because I mean, life must be kidogo enjoyable. Sindio? You can't just say I'm living just to eat
but
food.
Living your means you accept.
Even if you're eating food today, you must say, even ata ile niliona kuna another samaki being made somewhere that looks very good. I want that one. Sindio? Tasty food. You upgrade kidogo.
Living within your means you have accepted that you're poor.
No. You must achieve a goal in your life. And you must have the mentality in your life.
Okay.
I must overcome my needs.
Okay.
And I'm capable. God gave me a brain and physical health to overcome my needs.
Okay.
My needs are also including health. And I must have an achievement to get my wants. The little things that make us happy. Hata ile pombe you drink on the weekend, that's a want. You don't need it.
Okay.
Okay? Then you must reach a level of going for your dreams. You must reach that level. And it comes, as you were saying, from mentality.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Firstly, understand that we are all born capable. And in God's eyes, we're all born equal. Right?
Yes.
But with different environments.
Yes.
Okay? But even in that environment,
yes,
if you have self-worth and discipline, putting God first, there's nothing you cannot achieve if you are determined. Nothing.
As in, sometimes you answer questions that were supposed to be long in a very short way. Kama you would expect a list of things that keep you poor, but you just gave the principle.
Yes.
Anything that consumes,
yes,
game short.
Yes. What consumes? If you are drinking every day, it consumes. You remain poor. You remain poor. Now, I'll give you, I see some people, you've seen, for example, rich people, a lot of rich people invest in watches.
Watches?
Yes. You see, very expensive watches.
Like the president, people are talking about wearing a
watch of 5 million, 10 million. You know, pesa mingi sana for a watch. Yes, but I can tell you, there is no worthy investment kama hiyo. Many of those watches you try and sell again, you have an appreciation.
That's why you are saying
it's like real estate.
Our time.
Yes. You buy a watch for 5 million today. You keep it if it's a special piece. In a few years, you can sell for 7 million, even 10 million. Becomes an antique, a rare piece. You're on the open market.
So land is
not
the only
investment. So some things you are seeing, mujue hiyo hata hiyo ni investment. It's not a wastage of money.
So land is not
the only
investment.
No. And they also say, if you look, a lot of gangsters like watches. Because when they are fleeing, they can keep them on them and the customs will not stop them. Then they can sell them where they are going because they've had to leave money. Eh,
Ah.
yeah, they have real value. They appreciate. It's like jewelry. Yeah.
So hata wewe sahii unaweza kuwa unatembea na rent America sahii just in case. As in, I didn't know that's a formula.
Yeah, oh, it's a huge formula. You have watches that go for 200 million shillings. Yes.
200 million.
Yes. Yes. Even more. Yeah, and people buy like nothing. Like kama katarasi. That's why I'm saying we live in a very small pond here.
And when you are to sell it, you'll find someone to buy it.
Even at 300 million. Rare watches. There are some that are made like 50 and they will never make another one. So if you pick right, you see, that's what I'm saying. The more knowledge one has, the more you can see opportunity. You see,
yes,
even in the things that you see every day that you take for granted,
yes,
there's value.
So whichever level you get, the question ya uko na ngapi hapo changes. you summarize the whole of evaluation changes.
Correct. Correct. And this knowledge is at our fingertips. It is there.
Okay.
Right? And that's why it's incumbent upon a government
Yes.
to teach people, to show people, to open up opportunities for them. Not for them to do it, but to tell you, by the way, if you get into these sectors by giving incentives,
Yes.
yeah, you have so much growth. I've given you some basics about things like macadamia nuts and coffee, things that all of us can do. And you find people here can become very wealthy in a very short time. That person in the village who have money that you cannot believe. There are some people, really, young people, you should go and see what is happening in Laikipia. Young people such as yourselves are doing ranching there. They are doing ranching, they are doing wheat, they are doing those things. You should go and see what they are doing. They will shock you. No, I'm telling you. And they started in a very small way. People went there and put little kibbutz, you know, people buying half acre, half acre, half acre. Then they put it all together. You should see what is happening. If you want to see one of the biggest places that these Ford Rangers are being bought, Niuku.
Yes. Laikipia.
Niuku, not Nairobi. So if you open up your minds
Yes.
to opportunity and don't take farming, which is so basic to us, as something that is returning you to something that you don't want. It is the biggest growth area and it has the least revenue because most people are still on food, subsistence.
Okay. Yes.
That if you get it right, and these young kids can now do value addition.
Yes. Yes.
Food is something that will never go away. It's a need, correct?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's a need. Higher. Then in the same food, there is also medicine that is now become a need in the world. There are very many things you can grow that are medicine. So you're satisfying needs. You see, just like you as a human being, you want to overcome needs, wants, and dreams. That is also your soko. Right?
That's where
so
the
I
business
think
is.
that's where business is. What are your needs? You need water, you need food, you need air. What else do you need? You need health. Right?
Yeah.
So if I have got biashara, I think, am I in the needs? Am I going to sell you needs? Am I going to sell you food? Am I going to sell you health? Am I going to sell you water? Correct?
Yes.
Then you go to wants, your nice three-piece suit. That's a want. It's not a need.
And that also explains rejection because once you
Correct.
understand the needs, you
Then
don't have to struggle.
You don't have to struggle. Once you've got needs, then you go to wants. Wants is also biashara. Dreams are also biashara. Your dream may be to take a boat ride. So do I have a boat for you to achieve that dream? It's for you to get onto a plane and go to Hong Kong. You become a tourist. That's a dream. Am I in that business? So
you
one's
understand the level you're playing
business
at?
is based on needs, wants,
Yes.
dreams. So if I'm targeting you, I say, where is he? Where are Kenyans? At what level are you? Yeah? Are
Yes.
people still in needs? So I know, okay, that's the soko. Because millions are still in needs. Correct? So now I channel my needs. As you progress, you get to wants. When you get to wants, I start saying, okay, they like the finer things of life. Right? That's when you see us evolve. You know, before we had bicycles, now it's boda boda. You see us evolve from boda boda to cars. The more we come up, with our wants. All right? Yes. And people
Meona
have
kwa nini
cars.
ni back to school?
All right? And then you dream, then you go to dreams. You go to dreams. So for example, one of our needs has become spirituality.
Yes.
Because of pain. Because we want hope. Because we are in poverty. Haven't you seen the churches grow? Yes or no? It's because they are satisfying
Anointing
a need.
oil. Yes.
Because it become a need.
Yes.
I can assure you, as we go up the ladder, you go to England today, where they are in wants and dreams. The churches are empty. They have even become stores. They become stores. Nobody goes to church.
So what you're saying
It's not
is
a growing market.
if
So
you,
please
if
understand.
If you target
When
a
people are
needs
telling
market,
you that you know, if you get rich, you can't go to heaven, people want to keep you down. What challenge are your nonsense? People
you
want to
target-
keep you down. You go to heaven if your spirit is right. Yes.
if you target a needs environment with a product of wants,
You
you'll
lose.
fail.
You'll fail.
If you target
Where's the-
a
where's the
wants
soko?
market with a
A
needs
market,
product,
you fail.
lose.
Yes. Now, for example, food at needs is maybe ugali. All right?
Yes.
Food at once is lobster. So if you have, yeah, it's still food,
Yes.
but now it's wants. So now you have a community that has wants. In other words, they have more purchasing power.
Yes, yes, yes.
So now they don't want to just eat ugali. They also want to eat lobster and want to eat these fine things of life. All these nice pastas they see being made. Now, if you target them and there's big enough market, you thrive because many people are in wants. Then dreams become another avenue,
Yes, yes.
right? What are people's dreams? Do they want to be tourists all over the world? So if you're catering for that, do they want to go on a plane, a luxury yacht? What do they want? Those are dreams. If you cater for that and there's a big enough market, you will get it. Umeshika.
Ah, that's the best explanation. I don't know if this example makes sense. I was worried. We always knew that real estate is a sure bet business. And I was shocked to see apartment flats being auctioned and villas being auctioned. And then the story was, let's say someone went and built villas, right, in a place like Kitengela, at a place where the environment was best for bed sitters. So yes, you have the house. Ideally, it's a good investment, but in the wrong place.
Well, location with real estate is very key because location defines the needs or wants of the environment.
So it summarizes what you said.
Yes.
Okay.
Who are you catering for? So Kenya has now, unfortunately, a 60-plus multidimensional poor.
60 plus?
6 out of 10
6 out of 10.
people are
You are-
multidimensional poor.
Which
Which
means poor
means
from all sides. We say that.
it's
you know?
very sad. But let me simplify it. It means you are struggling for food, for basics, for food, for school fees, for, just the basics of life.
This
Right?
to me,
You're
you can
struggling.
be rich on one thing, but
No,
poor
no,
on
they are not
something
rich
else.
on anything. You are six out of every 10 are poor. They are struggling every day to make ends meet, whatever direction. Most of that is food, just to put food on the table.
Yes.
But others, it is food, rent, just to live is a struggle, a daily struggle. Am I wrong or right? 6 out of every 10.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
that is a needs market. So you're not going to come and tell them to buy lobster. They're not interested.
Yes, yes, yes.
They're not even in their mind. Then they want affordable housing, cheap. And the government does not have to build it. The market will determine it. If we had the money, we'll build affordable housing that people can buy for 200,000 shillings. Do you see? That
Yes.
will be the competition.
Yes.
If we had this money the government has sucked up from us, we are the ones who build it. Right? Where people can buy a house for 200,000 and pay 2,000 shillings rent and live comfortably. We ourselves will make sure that there is competition for food. So food item and food costs go down because it's a needs market. Do you see? Needs. 6 out of 10 are in needs. Needs. What are the needs? Food, water, shelter, namna hiyo. Needs.
Okay.
Right? So only 4 are probably in the wants. How many are those and where are they? So you do your demographics. This is something even supermarkets do everywhere. There are some markets, they have bigger stores, other smaller stores. And the items they stock, depending on the area, they know. Here, people's purchasing power is this much. There, it is higher. All right? So they stock that way.
So
they position that way.
Kitu sikudanganya ati you go there and unasema hapa hakuna supermarket, nakaa nikileta supermarket hapa itaweza.
Unajidanganya.
Hapa hakuna car wash, I will bring a car wash. I've never seen a car wash.
How many people have cars there? How many people have cars? Who care for that car wash? Yeah. Okay. You are pricing yourself out. So understand where you are. So that's why my advice, since we are 6 out of 10 poor,
yes.
Needs.
Okay.
And the needs, the most basic ni chakula. That's why young people no, chakula is chakula. Chakula is chakula. Na si ile ya lobster. Si ile ya lobster. It's basic food.
Yes.
But also understand that the basic food that is growing on the ground, you can also grow something that gives you value so that you move out of needs to wants.
Okay. Mumeshika hiyo? Aya, wazi. Thank you very much. Tukifunga, at least leo tumekuwa na time, tukifunga, takurudisha high school kidogo. You went to school with the president and most of these people,
the former president.
The former president, yes. The former president Uhuru Kenyatta, and most of these people in policy making positions unawajua inside out.
Yes.
So I believe
but not all of them were in school with us in Saints.
Yes.
I was in Saints in primary school and in high school.
In primary school and in high school.
Yes, Uhuru was 2 classes ahead of me, but I was in class with his brother Mo.
Exactly where I hoped you would be. Were you bullied?
Was I bullied?
Yes.
Well, I have to tell you that in St. Mary's it was not too bad. But when I got to
kidogo too.
Yeah, but let me tell you. I must tell you a story. Now, when I finished, at the time you had what you called CPE.
Yes.
So when I finished primary school, my father decided that the best place for me was to go to boarding school. I was a bit of a radical kid. So he decided I would go to Lenana school. Okay? So I went with my friend Jimmy Kibaki. He was also in St. Mary's. We went to Lenana school. Now the biggest mistake I made, I think when I got to Lenana school, was that my father drove me there with a nice big Mercedes. Okay?
Yes.
And I went to what was called the most bullied house, called Kerry Francis House. Right? And I was a small guy. I tell you, from that day, I was beaten and beaten for a whole term. I was told I must be shown humility.
By your fellow students?
Oh, yeah, by the Form 2s. Now, the bullying went to this extent, where, food was given from the head of the table, who was normally the 6th former, all the way down. So you'd find when the food comes, you just have half a chicken or something, or just a little rice, right? We had
chicken.
Chicken. Yeah, at those days, Lenana used to have chicken. I was saved by bread. The tea bread. Some of the staff.
So man hide some bread alone.
Yes, we used to hide some bread. You eat it. That was what saved us.
Yes.
But I can tell you what broke my back. There were a couple of things. The bullying was to the extent where we were told, I remember one time, and it was just somebody looks at you and says, now you come, Rubble. We used to be called Rubbles. Come. Can you see the grass over there? Here's the scissors. Go and cut that grass the whole afternoon. And you've got a yard like this hole here. Okay? You have to go on your knees and cut the grass. There was a time where I was told to drink the water out of a tap until it finishes. So you drink until you vomit. But my head sparked. And I say sparked because that's the time now I showed my temper. When one of the Form 2 fellows came and decided that he's tired of me sleeping in comfort, he took a bucket of water, poured on my bed and said, I'm going to sleep like that, and I had exams the next day. I got up with a hockey stick, I did the same to him, and I beat that boy.
And you were in Form 1?
I was in Form 1. You can imagine the hell I got from all Form 2s of the school thereafter. right? And that's when I said, really, I have no future in this school. I better go back to St. Mary's.
Oh, that's how you...
That's how I went back to St. Mary's. I was there in primary school. I just went for... So if there's bullying, St. Mary's did not have that bullying. Lenana was a horrific experience for anybody.
You were with Jimmy Kibaki in
Yes,
Lenana.
now he was in yes. And then he also followed me. It was very bad. And he was not even in a house that was I was bullied as much. And I don't recommend bullying. There's discipline, order, those things. But the kind of bullying that used to be there those days was criminal bullying.
And there was nothing like, do you know who my father is?
No, that's when you get beaten more. Yes, that's when you're shown more dust. Unapigwa sawa sawa. Ati wewe umekuja na kichwa kubwa, as we are hungry people, you are, yes, unapigwa sawa sawa. Just because I was dropped in a Mercedes, and I used to be picked in a Mercedes, became what you call my nightmare. Nightmare, because I have always been a very humble person.
Yes, yes, yes.
It became my nightmare.
Did you hate Mercedes from then?
No. I hated bullying. I remember meeting that young man who poured water on me many years later. And I asked him, now that you achieved what you achieved, out of bullying, where are you in life and where am I? Yeah. Where are you in life? Where unaniomba? Okay, what did you achieve? Instead of adding value to people's life, you are busy taking away.
You didn't get a chance.
And even when he omba, I still helped him. No, even then, I still helped him. And I said, I hope in your life you teach your children, a different way of looking at life.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So life is about adding value, not taking away. If bullying is, and I use that word with a lot of guard, it's supposed to be something that humbles you or teaches you a discipline, then everything must be done in limitations. But I don't advocate for bullying. I advocate for discipline.
Okay.
Discipline, there's nothing wrong with it. Discipline, you learn it in team sports, you learn it in particular order of uniforms and so on and so forth. No teacher, no student has the right to bully you.
But moral of the story is bullying made you better men.
Well, I think, I don't know about better men. I think it strengthened me, no doubt.
Okay.
No doubt, it strengthened me.
Yes.
Yeah, the one term. I don't know whether it would have been the same if I had remained 1 year. I may have become a worse person.
You are hardened enough for St. Mary's, like when you left Lenana.
I was always a fairly focused person. So I don't know about hardened, but in terms of going back to St. Mary's.
Yes, yes.
But I was hardened as a human being. It was a very, it was a big wake-up call.
And does that because a lot of the things we face going through the stages of growth influence the people we become, right? You did not choose the path of revenge, right?
No,
if you had,
it has no value.
If everything you had planned for had worked the way you had hoped, you would be president, right?
You see, yes, that's correct.
Does that help with the spirit of revenge?
You see, that's one of the stories I hope I'm going to have a long opportunity to give, that story. Here's my own schoolmate called Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta.
Yes.
Who comes to me suffering from a criminal charge out there, ya wazungu, called ICC. Yes, he was suffering. If you imagine a Kenyatta never believed he would even get a traffic ticket ever in his life. Now he's being called to a criminal court. This was mind-boggling for him. Yes. Do you think Uhuru Kenyatta ever drove out of his house believing a traffic man would stop him? And here Kenyatta, and he'll be charged with that? No. Now this is the first charge he's ever had in his life. And he has no control because he's out of country. So he's a very frightened man. The current president even brought him to my office. The current one. So for almost 3 years, we work a direction to save them. And the only thing I said was that if you are saved, you save Kenyans.
Yes.
You save? Because Kenyans have saved you. You know, we all know politicians and their lack of fulfilling their promises.
So when
but I said, if Kenyans save you, because mukiingia kwa hiyo kiti, ICC will run away. Isn't that what happened?
True.
So Kenyans have saved you. So when they get in, one of the biggest problems, and I will tell you this, Daktari, kingmaking is a very dangerous business. because somebody sees vile umemweka, all the efforts you have put to put them, you can also do to remove them and put somebody else.
Is that true?
In many instances, yes. Many kingmakers get killed. Look at Jonjo. Was Moi's kingmaker? What happened? What happened to the Mau Mau that helped to make Jomo Kenyatta? What happened? So
Those are the
kingmaking
rules
is
of power.
Yes, kingmaking is a very dangerous game. But what I never envisaged is this man who I grew up with from when we were children,
Yes.
primary school children, where we have eaten in each other's houses for years, that he would come and bombard my home, would come to almost try to kill me over and over again, would stop anything about me over and over again, after I've helped save his life, like other Kenyans. That I never anticipated. I never anticipated that he would leave Kenya worse off as president than he found it, because he did. Kibaki left a fantastic economy. Uhuru left a bad economy. So you've left people worse off. I never envisaged it. From the very people who saved you. So I never anticipated that. But I can tell you in this day and age, because you know you get to a level where you feel insulated,
Yes.
that it was a great wake-up call. Because it just shows you over and over how strong one can be, the value of family, the value of God, and the value of self-worth. Let me tell you, when you are determined about something, don't worry about the stones that come from others. Just stay focused. There's nothing you will not achieve. And I hope that's a lesson that young people get, and it's something we want to implant. If you are clear about a goal, don't let anybody, not your friends. And by the way, that's one thing. When you're on a goal and you start achieving, one thing you're going to lose are your friends, the people immediately around you. 99% of them wataenda.
That is given.
That is actually, yes. And when you see that, you know you're progressing. If they are still the same people, you are stagnated. But if you lose them, you know you're going very far. So stick at your goals. There's nothing you cannot achieve. Nothing.
Isn't there a separation between you have the same people means you're true to your base?
Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Not when you're growing.
Okay.
You settle later with friends you have been with for very many years, where you have a modicum of acceptability. These ones are my family friends.
Okay.
These ones are my family.
Yes.
These ones are my business associates and friends.
Yes.
But everybody is in a compartment.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
But those that you are saying that you hang on to,
Yes.
from the time I was 18 and I'm 50, na ingali niko na wao, and it's the same grouping, and I've lost maybe only 1 or 2, 80% ingali, you know you have not grown.
That is a lie.
It's a lie.
Asante sana for the good vibes. Thank you very much. I'm so tempted to ask about if you knew President Uhuru in school, you would have known the kind of person he would be given power, because 4 years or 6 years in an institution together, you can be a true judge of character. But then again, I don't know. Nature
What
is very
happens,
interesting.
Daktari, is that no matter what you see of somebody, you know them best when they have power and they have money. Not in Shida.
Yes.
In Shida, we have a way of just humbling ourselves. But in power and money is when you know the true sense of somebody. But I can tell you, and I repeat this, what I never expected, because he was saved by the Kenyan voter. He was saved by the Kenyan voter.
But
his life, no, hold on, his life. This is somebody who would have been hung at ICC. He was saved by the Kenyan voter. Yes, it was very serious. He was saved by the Kenyan voter. The least, no matter what somebody's character you'd expect, is that the Kenyan voter who saved you, you would save. You make sure you live better than you found them.
But people voted for him.
It would stop becoming about yourself.
But people voted for him because power was not new to him. He was the president's son. I don't know whether you experienced that in school.
No, what happened? People did not vote for him because of that.
Yes.
The election, every election has a question.
Yes.
Every election. All right?
Yes.
Just to summarize quickly.
Yes.
In 2002, the election was yote wazekana bila Moi.
Yes, yes.
In 2007, yote wazekana bila hawa wa Kikuyu. It was 41 against 1. In 2013, the election was ICC.
Yes.
right? And those who are victimizing people for their own political end, for ICC.
Yes.
In 2017, it was tufukuze hao wezi. Remember NASA wao? Remember NASA wao?
Yes.
It was tufukuza thieves.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
Am I wrong or right? Haya. This last election, right, this is where you have very big people confused. People were mostly against anything that was going to bring the extension of Uhuru Kenyatta. That was the problem.
Okay.
All right? That
Yes.
was the problem.
Yes.
And my good friend Raila appeared like a project of Uhuru Kenyatta. And that's where he suffered greatly.
Yes.
So it was the anti what had been there, because he was living an
Yes.
economy worse than he found it. Now the next election,
Yes.
unajua hawa ndio watakuwa nasema fagia wote ama mtasema namna gani? This generation,
Yes.
they used their might because they didn't vote. The largest vote in the last election was the 8 million who did not vote. 8 million did not vote.
Okay.
That was the largest vote of the election. Nani hawa? They are the ones who will be saying fagia wote. They'll be very hatari.
Interesting. Asante sana. Asante sana. I always know, ama hata nyinyi mnajua this conversation can continue, si ndio? But I hope hata wenye wana watch kutoka home, najua kuna watu wamekasirika hata hatujaguza AI hata kidogo. But anyway.
Exactly. We had said we would touch AI.
Exactly.
Na green energy.
Manze, but we can always plan for another time.
No, but that one I must tell people. Here green energy.
So Mike unless Mike sasa ndio we are at the mercies of Mike wa Inaina. Tutasikia green energy peke yake alafu tufunge. Aya, 4 minutes.
Okay. Now, I want young people to understand this. The world is becoming climate friendly.
Yes.
To energy production.
Okay.
So oil, which is the largest traded commodity, is being replaced by the energy from green energy. From the sun, the wind, from what you get geothermal from the ground. All right? Now,
those are the green energy.
That's green energy.
Hakuna good vibes and inshallah.
Hapana. That is green energy. And it's turning into what is called green hydrogen.
Yes.
Right? Now, in that, you also have something else. Because when you harness green energy, when you generate it, you need to put it in a battery. And that is lithium, you have nickel, you have copper, okay?
Yes.
Cobalt. 45% of the world's green energy, both in terms of generation and battery, ni hapa Africa. So the way you are seeing Saudi Arabia very rich because of oil, we have potential to be that for your generation to come. Okay? Now, by 2030,
Arab oil tycoons,
correct?
Yes.
Kenya and Africa can become, especially. Now, by 2030, the world has said half of our energy will come from that. That is what is called COP28. By 2050, all our energy will come from green energy. No more oil or coal or any of those things. By 2050. But by 2030, the target in 7 years' time is that half of our energy will come from that. Now, I want you to imagine a simple thing, because now they are simplifying it and it's getting cheaper and cheaper. So you put a little solar panel outside your house, okay, outside your compound, right? You generate 2 hours of sunlight. With 2 hours of sunlight, you put it through a small electrolysis machine, right, which produces hydrogen. And it will become like a small box like this, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay? With that, you'll have enough power for your house for even a month. 2 hours worth of sunlight. You'll be able to fuel your car with that energy every day without going to a petrol station. So you see this thing called KPLC, you will never hear of it again.
With
I want you to imagine, you never see those bills.
Hamutaona
hiyo bills.
Will the oil tycoons allow that to happen?
No, it's already going on. They can't stop it. So this is where we are going, and it is here with us. So as I'm saying, we are harnessing the ground from academia. Let us now start thinking about how we are going to harness this thing.
Yeah.
So I ask everybody, if you want to learn something, understand this green energy which is coming. It is going to be the thing that will change all our lives. And we must tell Serikali, we don't want you here. You are not the ones who are going to give it to us. We can give it to ourselves. Just bring your regulation, as we will do our own thing. Okay.
And that also
and the world is coming here. Now, Wazungu, this is the next colonization. They are back here. That's why you're seeing all this activity. They want to take this from us. When they came the first time, they took our land, put their coffee. Do you know we could not even grow coffee or tea? Yeah, they are back in a very big way. They want to harness this thing, and we are giving it to them as a natural resource. They will build a hospital for us, for us. Mutakubali hiyo? No, that is our wealth. God-given natural resource.
Okay.
If you want to learn something, start understanding green hydrogen.
And that should inform even the
that will even make fertilizer
for
your own garden.
Yes.
Umeshika?
Yes.
That is, yes. It creates ammonia. This generation does hydrogen and ammonia through electrolysis. The ammonia, you create your own fertilizer. Mbolea yako. See ati being imported from I don't know where.
Yes, yes,
you
yes.
would produce your own. You're going to become self-sufficient. That is where the world is going.
Okay.
AI is for next time.
Asante.
Asante sana.
Alafu I will also take time. Sasa hii nitakuuliza in our own personal space why someone can still respect you without the obsession of being called honorable, His Excellency, Right Honorable. You're just Jimmy Wanjigi, but still the respect comes. Na hauna pressure ya kuitwa mheshimiwa.
Sina pressure. You will tell me why people respect me.
I can't tell myself.
Asante sana.
By the no pretense, no politics. That about you, I hope everyone who's met you shares the same. And thank you for being kind enough to share your time with us.
Asante.
It's one of the most valuable resources that you've ever gifted us.
Asante
and the
sana.
Wicked Edition family.
Daktari, thank you for inviting me. It's been great being here.
Karibu.
Asante sana.
Karibu tena na tena. Asante sana.
God bless you. God bless you.